And we are, well, I didn't count down, but we're live. So here we go.
Bow. What's going on, everybody? We in
Yep.
here. It's another one. Yo,
Yep.
Reek, tell them why you fucking mad, bro.
No, don't
Tell,
start
tell them
that.
why you fucking mad, yo. Like, yo, you
Don't
know
do
what I'm
that,
saying?
bro. Nah, man.
We getting disrespected out here with some of these
Bro,
disrespectful ass fucking prices. You know
bro.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
So if anybody wants to know, I burn up cartel's ears damn near every day. And recently, for the last week, I have been complaining about the price of parts. And you know what brought all this on, cartel? You
What?
know, a fuck. Let me not curse. I want to get demonetized. A fender, a front
Yeah.
fender, carbon fiber front fender. So what did I do? I went and looked into the pricing of carbon fiber front fenders, and the average price was what? I think on the low end was like 300 and no, about two, no, $300, all the way up to $450 for a carbon fiber front fender. And that to me is ridiculous. Now, I have a disclaimer. I am not targeting anybody in this because I'm going to pay my money. I'm going to buy the fender. All right. I'm going to buy the fender. But over the last 2 weeks, I have had to purchase parts and I've been riding for quite some time. And I'm telling you, these prices of these parts is ridiculous. I don't know how I can keep racing or building bikes or anybody for that matter with
Yeah.
$450 fenders. So,
You know what's interesting? I wish I could go back maybe even 5 years ago to see what the cost of some of these things were. Yo, Swedish fish hit different, Adam. So don't get
for
it fucked
real,
up.
I
Swedish
know. I
fish,
don't know
bro.
what you're
Oh
hating
my
on.
god, it's different out here. But yeah, I think I would like to see the price difference from 5 years ago to now on things like that. You know,
I
but then you have like let's take like a smaller company like Carbomoto, right? Like shout out to them because that's who I got my carbon subframe and real tail section from.
mhm,
Um, they everything's handmade, right? And like they make very high quality stuff,
mhm.
and they're pricey, but you're getting like you could see the quality in the stuff that you get. So it's kind of, it's tough. Where do you differentiate between like the small guys and the bigger guys? It's that's a tough one, man. you know
I brother, I don't know, but what I can say is years ago, I mean, you got to look at it too. Like if you look at your OEM fairings, right? Like let's say, because everybody checks it at some point, especially when you wreck. Let's take the Busa for an example. The front cowl used to be on average about 450 to $500. That's a big OEM piece. You're
yeah,
telling me a land speed or what I consider to be a fake land speed fender is 300 to $400?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and of course, like the newer generation is gonna pay the money because hell, I'm gonna pay the money if I want the fender bad enough. But I just feel as if there is no way in hell that I should be paying. We're not going to get into the carbon fiber fairings. We're not going to get into the price of exhaust. Exhaust used to be, on the low end, let's say $1,200 all the way up to $1,500. Now they're what? $2,500 to $3,500 for exhaust. Why?
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of something to think about. If you buy a stock bike and you decide that you want to modify it, most people do what? Flash, tune, exhaust filters. What? That F-185 is what? $300
Yeah,
for a filter.
I felt that. Yeah,
Like what?
MR12 was 135. Really?
Yeah, you know what? And he's right. Back in the day, I remember buying 5 gallons of MR12 for $120. That was max. I just bought MRX02 for $207, and the MR12 from the same vendor was 205, I think. $200.
Do you feel like how do you think COVID affected that? Right? Because like some of these manufacturers, some of these carbon manufacturers clearly outsource, right? Like They're just kind of like the middleman. So like, how did that, like, especially fuel prices, you know what I'm saying? Because clearly shit, everything went up when after COVID. So I wonder how much that tainted the motorcycle industry as a whole.
You know what, brother? Like I don't know because like you could say it all boils down to the old business saying supply and demand. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? I don't, COVID has been gone for a minute now. I mean, granted, it's still kind of around, but I do realize even the prices of food has gone up. But
Yeah.
I really feel as if we as a like the entire industry, for instance, another example could be, our connecting rods for our bikes. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to call any vendors' names out, but I remember paying back in the day. Well, I could say it because I mean it's not a secret. So Wassner rods was like, let's say back in the day, 600, 700, $800. They have kind of remained constant. Like you could still get Wassner rods, for about $800, $900, depending on the vendor. Oh my God. Carrillo, I just paid, oh boy, $1,500, where you used to pay on the high end for Carrillo a little over 1,000. Webcams, you know what I mean? And I'm not like putting these vendors down. I mean, if I need rods, I'm gonna buy them. If you need rods, you're gonna buy them.
Yeah.
That doesn't change. That doesn't negate the fact. It's just why the hell are we paying so much money to modify our? You know what I mean? Like, why is it so expensive? Oh, he
I
said
think
the
I
TI
think
rods
I
are too
think
big.
that I think that it in places like that, right, with like aluminum and stuff like that, maybe prices of material as in bulk are higher,
Mm-hmm.
or they just like they're still playing off the COVID kick, like Adam said, bro, where they're still playing that card, and it's really not even that anymore. Everything's back to normal, but if they can make extra money, they're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? I think they see how competitive road racing has become too, right? And let's be honest, nowadays in the street, bro, like I was just talking to Adam about this shit earlier. Like, if you're a stock motor bike, you're really not competing like that. I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these guys are coming out and they're coming out heavy already with 3x6s or better, or at the bare minimum a head cam or whatever the case may be. You know, like,
Right. I mean, so terrorist is talking about like his rods being 2,600, which is wild because Pankel is a good rod. But then if you look at the equivalent CP, they're what, 35, $3,600.
bro, that's so much money for fucking rods, bro.
Bro, that's what that see what I mean? Like when you put it into the perspective of this vendor is $2,600, but then on the low end is 1,500, $3,600 for four rods. This ain't rods for a Lambo, bro. It's for
Yeah, that's
it's
that. If
for
it
a
was a
fucking
Lambo, it'd
Jixel
be
1000,
4,000.
bro.
If,
Like
if it
what?
was a if it was a Lambo, it'd be 4,000 per rod.
You know
Per.
what I mean? And see, yeah, Pankel owns Carrillo. What do you say? 3,500 to 4,000, depending on the bike. I know, see, and that's funny because like picture that though, like you're trying to build your motor and just one part in the motor is $4,000. That's
Yeah,
like
that should have. That's wild, bro. So like at that point, right? These guys that are selling packages that start at 10 grand to 15 grand for stroker motors, it's not sounding all that bad, bro. Now it depends on what the quality of parts you're getting,
right,
you know. But
right.
if you're paying 4 grand just for rods, bro, like a $10,000 motor package does not sound that bad anymore.
No, it's not. I think so. It really depends on obviously your pockets, right? And then how deep you want to jump in the deep end on building whatever said motor is. But I feel like the rods, even when I had to spend my $1,500, I was upset. Now you have competitors like max speed rods, right? You got some guys who use those rods, and those rods are like $300 to $400. They work for some people, they don't work for some people. I don't know, but $300 to $400 for rods in the grudge game, and you putting 600, 700 horsepower to them. You break a set of rods that's $300. That's not that bad
No.
because I mean you only out of $300 versus what 3,600. That's
See, and
crazy.
the grudge game is different too, right? Because those grudge guys probably got 3 blocks, or they probably got 3 blocks on deck. They probably got three of everything, bro, right? Three trannies,
Hmm.
3 blocks, 3 heads.
Three something, well, at least two,
you know,
depending
you
on
know
how
what I'm
serious.
saying?
Yeah, the
Worst
first
case
few guys.
scenario, bro. They over here, bro. They over here probably swapping one bearing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's just see if this pass. You know what I'm
Bro.
saying? Like, come on, man.
Now, see, I don't know who Ink Life is, 23, but he said my bike don't turn on. See, I think he's talking to you. Is he talking to me? I don't even know who that is.
He ain't talking to me. You know what I'm saying? My
Well, he
bike
got to
turned
be
on
talking to
right now,
me.
right now. But he might be talking to Adam. He might be
Oh,
talking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in the chat.
And you
Yeah.
might want to retract that statement, Ink Life, because his bike actually does turn on right now.
Oh, he's talking to
Oh,
this
okay.
Jixer. Okay.
Yeah, he's
But
talking to Chris.
I mean, even so, getting back to the fender, right? So let's say you want, for whatever reason, the trend is like all these aerodynamic stuff, whatever, right? So if I did my like beer math, let's say if I keep it whole numbers, $400 for the front fender, you got carbon fiber all throughout your bike, right? So by the
Yeah,
time you carbon fiber your entire bike, the average kit is what? At least $2,000, at least
yeah.
that. Shocks are what, over 1,000?
Yeah, 1,000 to shit. I know shocks that cost fucking 1,500. You know, I think I don't even yeah, they get expensive, bro.
Yeah, and then I see some of the guys, man, they got the, these carbon fiber, Rotobox and or VST wheels. That's going to be $3,000 to $4,000 too. Even on the core moto end, they can go up to $3,000. So now you're looking at, you haven't even touched the motor and you're pushing that 10K range. That's crazy.
Well, yo, right? Even a build like a Stellar, for example, right? Like I bought my bike. It was pretty much set up as far as bolt-ons. You know what I'm saying? And like it was set up. It just like, you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of the weight reduction on the bike.
Hmm.
And bro, I'm into that bike for ridiculous amounts of money, right? But then you got to look at what's ridiculous, right? Because carbon is not cheap.
I can see that. Yeah.
You know
What
what I'm
is ridiculous? That's subjective.
saying?
You're
That's
right.
objective. So, right,
Yeah.
like, 20,000 for some people, is ridiculous with the cost of the bike, but I don't think it is, because in all reality, to make anything even remotely competitive,
Hmm.
I don't know, dude. I would say if you got a deal on the bike, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But if you're going like any Jigsaw, right? Any like 2017 and up Jigsaw, 2017 and up Cowie, BMW, whatever. You're getting a nice stock bike for maybe 15 to whatever $1,000, right? And then 25 to $30,000, and it might be working,
Right.
depending on your weight and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's right there, 10K and the motor ain't shit anymore, like pretty much. And what's the date on that? You know what I'm
Well,
saying? They should come.
he said
Motor should come with expiration dates
he's
nowadays.
well, he's saying it's a long. He's saying that's versus weight reduction, but then I don't know. I have to beg to differ. It depends. If you play devil's advocate, the weight reduction stuff is going to fit and not break. You can spend $20,000 on a motor and then last one pass. So I think it kind of depends on like like how deep you want to go, but like what risk you're willing to take as well. 600 is great again. Yeah, yeah. Well, I got several 600s, but I just think that, and I was thinking about it not just the roll racing, because I got some projects, but I was thinking about drag racing, road racing, like any form of racing. If you're just a
Drag race,
motorcycle enthusiast,
bro. Drag racing, depending on how deep you are into drag racing, if you're out here really trying to be competitive, it's double, triple the money than roll racing.
no, 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 can't say that. It used to be, but these guys now roll race. Look at your bike.
No, no, and listen, I'm not, but you got to understand, right? The amount of events you have to go to, right? And you're doing multiple passes. Like I feel like those drag racing events are way more consistent than a roll race event, right?
Well,
Like
see,
unless you're setting up money races every weekend.
well, so we're not even talking about the actual event. We're just talking about before you even walk out the door and go to your trailer, before you fly to Florida. We're talking about as your bike sits when you walk into your awesome ass studio, how much money you had to spend on that bike, even to date, even though it was kind of hooked up. Like, look at all the money you put into it already. That's crazy. When you really, I mean, it's our love and passion, so of course, but
You know what I think of a lot, bro, and I love my bike. If I would have sat with it a little bit longer, right? If I would have chose a different platform to start with,
man, so
you know.
okay, you can't avoid like the hard parts course, and what I call hard parts is like billet cranks, rods, pistons. Well, depends, but pistons, that sort of thing. Like a lot of the internals to motors, like obviously BMW, like the Europeans have the European tax, but for the most part, all of that remains constant. Boost is included. Any Japanese bike you want to crank, you still have to pay for it. But if you would have started off with that stupid Japanese bike called a Gixxer, you probably would have spent way less money and gotten a lot more bang for your buck
Yes,
because it's just, but it's funny though, because, and I know people will argue with this, but stock to stock, I hate to say it, Gixxers ain't shit. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of stock platforms that'll run over a Gixxer.
mm.
Stock to stock. I mean, hell, I mean, it's math.
So
There's uh
no, I can agree with you there, right? But let me ask the chat this, right? Let me ask you guys: do you guys feel like the Jigsaw platform, right, holds value at the end of the day, right? When you're all said and done, do Suzuki's hold value like that? I think maybe Busas do. You guys can tell. I don't know. I don't.
mm-mm.
I'm not a Busa guy,
They
so
don't. They don't.
they don't. So
Uh-uh.
what Suzuki, right, holds value compared to a BMW? You know what I'm saying? Like I could put my BMW back to somewhat stock right now and get a pretty good dollar for it, as opposed to a Jigsaw. I'm not too sure, bro.
Um, so like, and it's funny. I know it was about how much money we're spending, but I guess it's along the same line. So you brought up a good point. BMW, Aprilia, Ducati, that sort of thing. It's all European, right?
Yeah,
So like their resale value is always a good portion of what you've already spent on it. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get some of your money back. I think the only Japanese bike that probably makes sense where you can get a little bit out of it is the Ninja H2. And that's kind of sort of like a novelty. But
I
a
don't know
Jix,
about that, Ahmad.
what do you
Ahmad
say?
is saying that the BMW depreciate, but I don't think so, bro. Because I have a
Hey,
2014, bro, and to get a clean
no.
2014, bro, a clean one, anywhere from 13 to 15 grand, dude. And that depends on where you live.
Yeah, that is because 13, 14 now is more in the 9,
I
10
don't
range.
know where you're getting that, because over here, BMW's my 14 over here, right? And I feel like Florida is a different animal when it comes to bike
Oh,
sales, right?
wild
Because
boy in the house.
20K on a bike down there ain't shit. 20K over here on a bike is a lot of
Hmm.
miles.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, that is what it is.
But the European bikes do hold their value, like you said, a lot more. And who said something about a Gixxer holding more value? What?
Ahmad said that they depreciate
There's
quick.
no, I,
I don't know
there's
about
no
that.
way. I can pull up Cycle Trader right now, and the most beat up BMW and or Ducati will still outshine a new Gixxer. But I mean, that's just the name of the game. I mean, Japanese versus European, Gucci versus I don't know what because I'm not a clothes guy. Echo, boom, because Echo, bro.
Yo, if they sell for 8,000 in Qatar, that makes sense on why Alif was selling that fully set up Jigsaw 2017 or whatever it was for only 12,000. That makes a lot of sense. We might need to go to Qatar and rack up on
Hey,
some bikes, yo,
my
because
man, my man said the BMW 2014 motors are ass and they're slow. No, actually not. And actually, if you look at 99 and 10 when the initial S1000 came up, they dumbed that down because they knew people would kill themselves on it. That bike had like 225 horsepower stock. Bet y'all didn't know that. So, but anyways, I digress. So, getting back to why we're spending all of this money, well, no. So they try to mitigate that by putting that stupid RPM deal on it, where you can't go over 9,000 RPM or whatever it is.
I remember
That
that.
limiter on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the initials, man, people were just blowing them things up left and right.
8/10 in a quarter mile, Ahmad. That's impressive.
That is. I wonder if that's because them guys over there, who is it? Bahrain. They got some fast S1000s over there. One of them went into the sevens, but it was a stroker though.
It was a stroker.
It was a stroker S1000, yeah.
Oh, quarter mile. Wow.
Yeah, that's moving. But
if you have me on Instagram, if you have any videos of that, send them to me. I'd like to see that.
yeah, they did slightly. But I think if you look at bikes as a whole, like they never do anything ground moving, right? So like they'll change things in the head or some cam profiles or something, and that's where you get like a 2015 made 199 and then the 16 made 201. It's like 2 to 3 horsepower or something stupid.
Slight differences.
Right. Like there's no major differences. And I mean all the manufacturers do it. They come out with so like it's funny, the 22 to 23 S1000, right? Like everybody's like, oh my God, look at it. Bro, it's the same bike with wings. It really is. It's the same platform with wings. But everybody's like, oh my God, like it has wings. Like,
yeah, I hate that. I hate that. The little winglet things that they have. I'm not a fan of it.
But
I feel like they have a lot of different variations of that bike, bro. And I'm still, as much as I like the K67s, I'm still not impressed with them in stock form for the money. Bolt on for bolt on, I probably would pick a Jigsaw over a K67.
I think what's up, Jack? I think the K67 as a street bike is probably like leaps and bounds above like the K46. All the electronics and bells and whistles and stuff, like it's crazy. Although all of that stuff is more intrusive than it needs to be. So my wife, right, she rode the K67 the other day, and the first thing that happens is as soon as you change the tires or you want your tire pressure to be whatever it is, the bike basically says, hey, I have sensors on here. This is not, I don't know, 28 PSI. Now you got to ride around with a screen basically telling you that you need to pull over. You're wrong. Just because you're riding with your own whatever PSI you want to ride with. That is aggravating. Yeah.
Do you have to go into the ECM and literally delete all that stuff if you have woolage type of thing? Like you got to get rid of all these like restricted shit?
So the way that I've tried to circumvent the system is I would put it into, and everybody who has a K67 knows, so you put it into track mode. And a lot of times, like a lot of those sensors are not turned off, but they're turned off. So like if you disconnect your mirrors, you don't like riding with mirrors. I don't either. Nah. But if you disconnect it, you got to put it in like one of the race modes and basically go into it and then turn it off so it'll stop popping up, because that'll be another thing.
What's a mirror? I don't know what a mirror is.
I know, I mean, emissions and all of this stuff. I talked to Mr. Ellis, which Chip Ellis is one of the guys. I'm gonna have him. I spoke to him yesterday, and I think eventually we're gonna have him on. Like he makes the awesome sidewinders, man. For I think
you told me. You told
me. Talk about DME and all of that, but he's one of those guys that he even told me he's keeping his exhaust the same price, but his materials has gone up exponentially. So I'm like, how is it that he's able? I don't know what his overhead is, but how is he able to still keep a decent price of exhaust? But then you got other manufacturers that's coming out and adding $500, $600, $800 to the cost of their exhaust, and then we go and buy it.
I think that's a choice, though. I think that's a choice that the company makes as a whole, right? Or
Uh-huh.
whoever the powers that be, either they want to keep it more affordable, right, and keep
Hmm.
a consistent fan base, or risk it all and jack up their prices because the market is in demand, right? And enough people, you get enough influencers, right, to rock one product, right? And a lot of these young kids that have the credit card cash or whatever the case may be, right? They're gonna jump all over all the shit that you see, you
I
know.
don't know, because I do wonder, like, I'll call a name, well, two names. So like one thing that I've been looking into is everybody knows Montgomery Motorsports, like they're one of the primary guys that makes the carbon fiber stuff, right? I know they catch a bad rap for fitment and all of this other stuff, but let's be real, like any type of carbon you purchase, like it's not gonna fit. It's just, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to modify it. Some more than others. But when I look at their prices, and perhaps it's because it's made in the USA versus all of the carbon makers that's overseas, even then you can see a disparity between their pricing, Montgomery's pricing versus a lot of the guys that's overseas. And I'm wondering, like, why is that? And in some cases, in the way it seems, it looks like they have more, like their quality is more. You know what I mean? Like it's way better than what we.
Over than what we have here.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't. But then again, I can't really say that because I have several Montgomery Motorsports carbon fiber, and it's not bad. I mean, it might not be perfect, but it's not bad. I've gotten Limburger carbon fiber that didn't fit, and I had to send it back or break it and get my money back. You know who Limburger is? I mean, they make stuff for BMW. So I don't know.
Do you have some of that Limburger stuff?
Yeah, I got a lot of it. So you remember that 2016? That's like 90% carbon I built for wifey.
Yeah.
Like I think, and this was back then, right? So this was like she left, she went overseas, and it was a present for her. I spent to include the carbon fiber tank well over $5,000 in carbon on that bike. Now, if you take that and you look at the cost now, that's more like $7,000 to $8,000. But why? Like, what happened in between that year and here? I mean, COVID did happen, but why is it such a big gap in pricing? I don't understand it. I just don't.
Mm. Mm. I almost feel like, right, like for example, almost every jigsaw that I saw, except for like a few, looked the same in Miami, right? And a lot of them were all carbon. So just think about all these different companies that, offer all this carbon, all this carbon, all this carbon, and people are just buying it. What up, Will? How you doing, brother? Thank you for
Oh, what's up,
joining.
Will?
Uh, Bro, it's almost like, why are they gonna cater, right, to anybody, or right,
Hmm.
or people like us that are sitting here kind of questioning prices when they have just people are buying? Like none of these companies are starving, bro, right?
Hmm.
None of them are starving. They're all making money. They're all breaking bread. So it's like the handhelds, right? Multiple people have them. They're all making money.
Oh boy, don't handheld from who? I
It
said I
doesn't
wasn't gonna
matter.
do this.
They're all. I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
They all
All
got
right, thank
fucking.
you. All right.
They all got handhelds,
Mm.
bro, and they're all making money.
Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, what is why are they not gonna sell a handheld for $1,000 or whatever the hell they're going for?
Now, so I agree with so R&D does cost. That is right. R&D does cost.
Yes, yes.
And I don't even know if I can correlate that to those who may know a bunch of information about setup of a bike, but then charging because you asked a simple question about gearing or how to set up your shock or whatever the case. You know what I mean? There's somewhat of a correlation to that. Just because it
So
seems like
how many of
everything's
these
money
companies?
driven.
You think all these companies are doing their own R&D, or are they paying for already having blueprints and shit like that, right? Like how many of these guys are actually putting in the legwork, and how many people are actually buying, like, or buying a fender from someone else, and you know what I'm saying, taking their shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, you know, one of the companies, and I don't know how true this is, so don't sue me, Voodoo, but Voodoo makes some decent stuff. And they're very like well known for either copying but still making some good stuff in the drag race community.
Yeah,
But
Carbon Easy guys. Carbon Easy. He's from Brazil. My people, my Brazilian people. They
but
do make some pretty nice carbon. I've seen. Listen, I've seen multiple companies. Carbon Easy, RM Carbon, make really nice stuff. Carbomoto makes really nice stuff. Motor Fix, they make really nice stuff. Although I had an issue with their handlebars. That myself, they broke on me in Miami. But I mean that is what it is, right? Like carbon is carbon, bro. Like shit happens. But
I, I really think with that though, like 'cause you reached out. Okay, no, you reached out to Motorfix or you reached out to a Leaf. See, that's the thing because it seems like a Leaf is like the middleman in all of this. I think he's like the primary distributor to the US for like all these companies making his stuff outside of his own brand. At least that's what it seems like. But
I reached out to a Leaf. I reached out to a Leaf to no avail. You know what I'm saying? And hey, maybe whatever the case is, I didn't get that resolved. I ended up just buying another pair because I wasn't gonna wait.
right.
It wasn't enough money for me to sit there and wait for some replacement handlebars. You know what I'm saying? I just
Now,
bought new ones.
you know what is funny? I'm glad you said that, man. So like, and this is not to put any vendor down, right? But you bought a Leaf and or Motor Fixes, right? My carbon fiber handlebars are from Montgomery Motorsports. And so far, right, like I haven't had any issues, but then you had an issue. So then, but it's funny though, because Motor Fix is like and Carbon, like all these guys, it's $100 all the way up to $165,
Yeah,
$175 for clip-ons. So again, I'm like, where is it where it's just is that big of a gap of $50 to $60 in the same part outside of
yeah.
name? Where is that?
And maybe that's the difference, right, between a company that really puts in the legwork on R&D and a company that doesn't.
Right.
They're just copying because the
I,
cost has to be different. The
bro,
cost
I,
has to be different.
I can tell you, and this is no hit against any vendors, but
What's up, man?
I will give Montgomery Motorsports the props because it seemed, remember, they had a lot of this carbon stuff, even though it was expensive. They had all of these carbon fiber, land speed, boost offenders, all of this stuff well before this became a trend, and then everybody else picked up on it. And now they're, you know what I mean? It's almost like they're low, but like they're cutting the cost from something that was created over here. I know that's just business, but if I've been around long enough to see these were first, and now they're offering it substantially lower because a Montgomery fender, I want to say it's like 450 to at least $450. I think is one of them. I can look it up, but I know that was one of the high ones. But then Carbon Easy or somebody is $300. So
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Carbon Easy, they definitely do a lot of R&D over there, man. I see. I've backtracked on those guys, and they do a lot of R&D over there. Now let's get something correct here for the chat.
Uh-huh.
How many of you guys are actually riding your bikes right now this second? None of you guys, because you guys are here on the chat. So therefore, all your fucking bikes are parked. Mic
Three
drop.
300. Yeah, you see what he said? 380 to 500. I think it was either Motor Fix or one of them guys. I think their fender was like 300. And I think RM, he makes some good shit out of Florida. And I want to
I
say his is 300 and something, like low 300s.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Will, you're not riding if you're on the thing, but I mean that's that. But that it's funny. I use this as an example. The fender was what irritated me because that's something that like helps. But for me, if I was looking at spending $10,000 on my bike,
Fucking will he?
I'm immediately like, I'll get the exhaust, of course, and I'll get the filter, and of course I need like a tune or something. But I'm immediately looking at a minimum head and cam or something. like something that's going to net me real power for my money, because these parts are ridiculous now.
It
Yeah,
is.
I
It
know.
is. It's all ridiculous, right? It's almost like if you're so let's say you're a 120, 140 pound rider, right? 30 to 50K. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got no kids, Chris. We got child support to pay out here. You know what I'm saying? But yo, regardless, right? Like
30 to 50K for what though? What is he talking
a
about?
build, a build.
Huh. That's on the low end. 30 to 50K is not, bro.
Yeah, listen,
That's
Chris,
a whole
let's go
nother.
take
Yeah.
a walk throughout fucking Reaper's garage, and you'll probably shit yourself and go to the army early. I'm just saying.
No, I make dumbass decisions all the time, but 30 to 50K, like that's these pro street bikes, man. These grudge, man, 50 to 100K. And if you sell it overseas, I know these guys overseas in Dubai and stuff buy the bikes from the US for way over that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chris Moore or some of these like HTP, all them guys, them bikes are like proven. Yeah, they'll sell them things overseas for thousands of dollars. I mean hundreds or something, at least 100,000. And
really.
they got the money. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
got the money. Well,
yeah.
see, DJ Flacco, why we all broke though? We broke because we spending $500 for fenders. Why are we spending that money on fenders? Why?
Facts.
Why are we spending? Why are motorcycle rides more expensive than car rides? You a car guy, Cartel? How much is an aftermarket ride for a car?
Uh, bro, honestly, it's around the same price as bike shit, which is wild to me. But it's very like Carrillo to man. There's so many different. It's been a long time since I've even dealt with building anything for a car, bro. But these bike prices are right there and the same, for a
Yeah,
smaller motor, and that's the crazy shit,
that is. Now maybe there's some R&D like that's involved for like a four-cylinder, a little tiny motorcycle motor versus a, I don't know, a car motor, but I just don't understand it. Pistons. It's funny because like my pistons for my Beamer was what, 12 or $1,300, and they're like custom, but I mean $1,300 for some pistons.
So let me ask you this, right? Because I feel like I might have asked Mike this, but I don't remember 100%.
See,
You
there's
guys leave your
he just,
blocks?
huh?
Do
Yeah,
you
he
guys
just said it. Okay, so yeah, some rods for a car is cheaper than the ones for his Busa. How?
that's wild, bro. That's wild.
Well, Will, we know that, but we're discussing this because I feel like, not saying we can boycott the industry because we're not going to do that. Like if I want a part, like I'm gonna have to pay the money. I have paid the money, but I think it deserves a look just because many people like they get into the bike game and they just start spending money just to be competitive. But why are you spending $30,000 on a stock bike?
So right, Ahmad just said the car world is more expensive. So to give you some insight, Reed, because you're not really into the cars like that, right? If you get yourself into anything fast, so let's say if you do, uh, if we start at the bottom, so let's say we do like a GTR.
Uh-huh.
You start with bolt-ons in a nice turbo kit. It might net you like 800 horse. The minute you open up that motor, bro, you're done for. To build a crazy transmission on a GTR is $30,000. Just the trans. Okay. And every time you break that, so that's why a lot of these GTRs roll race, because dig racing, you're gonna break trannies $30,000 a transmission, bro. You know.
Okay. I mean,
So,
and I don't really know how much.
but GTRs are one of they're profound, man, in the way to me it's like driving an Altima. The motor's what makes that car special. But
I you
that's
know
neither
I
here
don't
nor there.
I don't think any bike's transmission would be $30,000, but Yeah, I've never seen anything like that, bro. That's expensive. And that's why I don't do nothing with cars. But what I can tell you is, so like, yeah, it's over 1,000. I know that.
No, look at Will. He just said it. He's got friends with 40, 50K transmissions, and that's the 30 grand is a start point for like. So yeah, you know, bikes in the
Yeah,
bigger
that's
spectrum is a
crazy.
cheap. Yeah, it bro. Like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
there's a threshold when it comes to cars like a GTR. There's a threshold. If you ain't got the money to replace trannies or anything like that, stick with bolt-ons, and you're lucky if you even touch 1,000 horsepower. But
Hey,
that's you got to know your place. Just like in the bike world, you got to know your place, bro. Either like for example, do I really, if I head cam my BMW, is it really worth it compared to a Jigsaw? Terrorist, he'll probably be able to chime in a little bit more on something like that because he's owned both now.
I
You know what
I
I'm saying? But
I
like
don't
there's places in all this, bro. Like where's your commitment? What do you want? What are you expecting? What do you want for reliability? What is reliability?
I think I think that, so like if you look at the S1000 versus the Gixxer, right? I think head to head and cam only, yeah, the BMW is going may cost a little bit more depending on where you get your cams from or who does your head work. But if we look at horsepower to horsepower, the BMW makes more power than the Gixxer. So technically, it would stand to think or reason that your BMW would make more than the Gixxer. I think the biggest issue is like when you get into the bottom end stuff is where the Gixxer really, 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 really shines because they make billet cranks for the Gixxer. They don't make that for the S1000. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when everybody sits there, even though the Gixxers are cheating, and I whine about their massive aftermarket, um, I feel like everything remains constant until you look at the bottom end. And there's some parts that you just can't get yet unless you're willing to fork up the coin for it. That's all
Yeah.
that's it.
Jack had a really, it's a seller's market. What other options would you have when there's a limited amount of manufacturer for these bike builds?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But Will, that's what I'm saying. It's stock to stock, it makes more power. And depending upon, and let's be real, it really depends on who's doing the head and all the R&D. Because I feel
Oh,
like a bit
we just had this conversation. Look at the mod. Valve train for BMWs is stupid expensive, bro.
it is.
We
It is.
just had
We
this
just looked that
conversation.
up. We just looked that up.
Me and Reaper literally spent hours on the
Yep.
phone, late night, looking at Valve train, like in
Yep.
the differences. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
can
when I
buy.
talked to KWS over the phone, you know, it was something ridiculous, like $2,000 or $3,000 for valves, for BMW valves to be replaced on a head if you're gonna do head cam. Like it was wild. It was wild numbers, bro. That's all I got.
Well, I mean, Will brought up a point, but that's with any bike, though. Head cam versus. I mean, it depends on really how deep your pockets is. There'll be a difference between me doing your head versus HTP. You know what I mean, or DME or whoever Portep. So, like, I really think it boils down to stock. The BMW on paper is faster, but the Gixxer though has all of these crazy aftermarket parts that the BMW really doesn't have. It has the bare minimum, but not especially bottom end stuff. And so
Yeah.
I looked into doing something for the S1000. The problem is they'll tell you something like you need to get a group buy. We want 10 people. Like if you want a billet crank, you got to get 10 people and I need like let's say $30,000. What 10 people I'm gonna be able to talk to and convince them to give me $3,000 to $4,000 for a crank? That's not even proven that it's gonna work.
Yeah. It's
You
just
know what I mean?
hypotheticals and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's tough, man. I'm telling you, yo. Reed,
It's
man,
crazy.
I told you over the phone earlier. You know,
He said
I'm
zero.
going to Georgia. I'm going to Miami. I'm gonna have fun.
It's
But you know,
crazy,
if you see my BMW in stock form and I'm selling off everything, don't get mad at me if next year I come through with a jigsaw. You know what I'm saying? I'm bunk betting with Will Heat over there and Adam trying to get with the mad scientist to figure out some shit.
bro. Terrorists.
But
But it's funny because Will Heat or terrorists or some of these guys in the chat, even Jack B. Quick, like he made a comment, like he sold some of his bikes because it's fine and dandy to have a bunch of like night. That's why, like, if you notice, I have BMWs, but I have several boosters too. But if you think about it, even if you want to be fast and you just hop up and get a booster, you in for a rude awakening. Unless you purchase one the way it's supposed to
yeah,
be, bro, you're gonna spend twice the amount of money to keep up with a 1K with a booster.
yeah, bro.
It's
I'm,
ridiculous.
hey Reap, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna show up to Adam's house. Call Will Heat over. I'm gonna have a burnt up jigsaw like Paul Walker did with the Supra, and be like, "Hey guys, look at the motor though. The motor's good. The
Bro,
rest of the bike is burnt to shit, but the motor's good. Let's
man,
get it cracking." You
it's so
know?
crazy, man. And it's funny too, because like even if you look at it from a tuning standpoint, I remember when I was learning dyno tuning, I was comparing like the S1000 ECU versus let's say a ZX10 and a Busa ECU,
Yeah,
whether it be ECU editor or all of these other different forms of fuel management. It's like, bruh, BMW. I'm telling you, it's this it got to be like this European thing where it just has to have a tax associated with it. It just has to. I don't know, but like the amount of money, because if you look at it too, they're not making a lot of K46 stuff. Have you noticed that? There's little parts coming out
yeah,
for the K46, but
yeah.
everything is 67 driven. Why is that?
Yo, because people are coughing up wild money for. Put it this way, right? Why is it that any fast or like somewhat fast K67, they're fucking not stock? They're not stock bikes. They have something. Something is done to that. They all have headwork, all of them.
I
And if you
well,
wanna call thin head gasket, degreed cams, whatever the fuck the case may be, there is not one stock. And hey guys, if you guys know any in the chat K67s that are really fast that are bone stock, let me know because I don't know of any. All the fast K67s that are competing have headwork at the bare minimum. And now you're spending 20 grand on a bike and then another 20 grand to make it fast, bro. Like fast, competitive fast.
well, I don't know. I think if you because again, fast is subjective too. You know what I mean? Speed, whatever it is, like that's in the eye of the beholder, if you will. I think if if you get a S1000 or and versus a Gixxer, why is the Gixxer so much faster than an S1000? Even though the horsepower numbers are different, like S1000 is supposed to make more. It's because of the stupid aftermarket. I was looking at some modifications for like let's say our K46, K67. Carbon fiber, like they're just now coming out with carbon fiber fairing stays. You know that. They're just now coming out with carbon fiber subframes and all of this stuff, right? For the BMW, it's catching up. But if you look at like a vendor like a Leaf alone, MotorFix or whoever a Leaf like surrounds himself with, bro, you can just look at a picture of a Leaf. They got 15 Jixers in the picture, and an S1000 sitting in a
Yo,
corner.
bro,
Am I lying? Am I lying?
they had an event, bro. They had an event, and everybody that brought they had like the lightest. They had the lightest bike, and I think their lightest bike there was like 330s or something like that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, they were all Jixers. They were all Jixers. You're right. They're the Wu-Tang clan of Jixers over there at a Leaf. Literally, they're the Wu-Tang clan of Jixers over there, bro. Like,
But see, that's what I'm saying. To answer some of the chat, it's like,
see,
you know
it's
what
a
I
Jixer
mean?
fest
Like
over there.
it's just they making every time I see a post on IG, it's
The
something.
whole country.
It's hey, you know what?
Them shits is like Legos out there.
Hey,
Yo,
I've actually been to
Ahmad.
Qatar once, by virtue of work, and like, yeah, man, like they're not all small. There's some big guys over there, um, but yeah, like all of the aftermarket for a Gixxer, bro. And that's when I really realized it. When I was going on this rant last Friday and looking for parts for my Busa, trying to, because I got to pick and choose like where I want to spend my money, depending on which project I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I was looking at pictures of the Leaf, bro, and I was like, bro, he has 100 Gixxers in this picture, and maybe a Busa or two, and then the S1000 is outside by the corner or something. You know what I mean? The camera just panned, and you can see a Beamer in there somewhere. And then when you go to their parts, bro.
Every time I see a Leaf, the Beamers are bone fucking stock, yo. They're
Bro,
just hanging
like
out.
they get a fender, maybe they might get a headlight delete or something, but like they get nothing. But Gixxers, they got from fairing stay to subframe to everything. And I'm like, that's why though, the road race community here or the drag race, any community that has a Japanese bike, especially a Gixxer, bro, it's just an easy win.
Ahmad,
And then you
I'm
contact,
190 pounds, bro.
hold on.
120. I don't think I was 120 in the 8th grade, bro. Like,
He
what do
was
you
selling.
guys like? What kind of diet are you guys on over there, bro? Because I need to get on the Qatar diet. Is there a Qatar diet? Because I gotta get on it. This shit is crazy.
This man's what? Did he say he weighs 120 pounds?
And there's no advantage because all the guys there are little. You know what I'm saying? They're skinny. So like, you have 50
That,
Jixas and 50 guys that weigh 150 and
yeah,
120
man.
pounds.
That's
All the races are close.
that's crazy.
It depends on who has the fresher Q5 out there at that point. you know.
Oh, bro. I don't know. So did the price of rubber increase? Because, bro, have you seen the price of tires recently?
Bro, listen.
I'm a
Yeah,
like
tires.
tires are expensive, bro. It used
Very
to
expensive.
be top of the line was Pirelli, right? Back in the day, it was always Pirelli. Pirelli is going to break the bank. Now, it don't matter who you choose. They all going to be $180 to $200 for a front, bro.
Yeah. No, and then
that's
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. What's
You
up?
know,
What's up, Rich? How you doing, brother? Bro,
120
yo,
soaking
it's
wet.
wild, bro. It's wild. Everything. I told you, just to go to Miami and I'm a stock motorbike, bro. I spent a couple of grand just to go over there somewhat ready. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a stock motorbike. So imagine all the guys that went there that have built motors and they came with God knows how many parts just in case. You
I
know?
don't know. Got a I got a very what's considered to be, to me anyways, is a hefty BMW build, right? And a lot of money was spent on this motor. But even though it's a stroker motor, right? When like I said, like, I stay up on like the Gixxer stuff. Because in my mind, I'm like, even though I hate them and they cheat, I do think about getting a Gixxer every once in a while, just because like it just makes everything easier. I didn't say I
Pause.
was though.
Hold
I
on.
didn't say I
Y'all heard this
was.
in
I
the
didn't say I
chat, right?
was. I said
Y'all
I
heard
think
this?
about it. I said I think
Y'all,
about it.
Reap said
I
he thinks
think
about
about it
getting a jigsaw.
because it'll make things easier. Okay. You know the drama I'm having, like what's going on in my garage right now. So I do want my life to be easier. Don't say that. I think about it. But in order to make BMWs really, really compete, at least with the aftermarket that the Gixxers have, bro, like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not getting an L12 or whatever it's called. No, I'm not getting whatever it is. What's the L7? Whatever it is, I'm not getting it. Can't afford it.
Yo,
But
Mod, listen, man. You know, at some point in time, I'm gonna have to hit you up. You're gonna have to set me up with some crazy shit over there. I'll pay
bro,
the shipping. I'll pay the shipping costs. Just have it ready for me.
hey, Will, I promise you, my brother, you will get all the smoke that you want when my stuff is finally okay. And I don't know when that's gonna happen. I love racing, so it's no big deal.
Hey, Will, man. You know, Reap is the he's my guy. By the time any of his shit is done, bro, we all gonna be retired on the beach somewhere, smoking cigars.
Bro, it ain't.
We're gonna be
Hey,
smoking cigars with the silk shirts, rope chains, hamburger meat
um,
hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Just having a
D,
great old time.
DJ Flacco. So you know what? I'll answer that. I just won't. Yeah, I'll answer that. So Well, okay, Cartel knows what's going on.
Yeah, listen, Flacco's a troll like a motherfucker, man. Yo,
Yeah,
yo,
let's
he's a good dude, but man, yo, him and that. So Flacco has a fucking Ducati, bro, that he refuses to race. He only does 9/10. He wants, if he does a half, he wants a bike in the hit. He doesn't want to hear it
Oh,
because
that's the
I don't
guy
think
that
he
was on
believes in
your
his
live
bike.
the other day, right? Wasn't he on your live the other day or
Bro,
something?
yes, yes.
That was him? Oh,
He
okay.
he's a New Yorker that talks a lot of shit, old school Spanish guy that probably still wears plaid shorts, you know what I'm saying, in the summertime. You
Oh,
know what I'm
okay.
saying? On the corner, drinking Maltas and shit. It's all right though. I got love for you, boy. You
I
know?
I don't know. So I'll just say this. So I have 3 projects that's ongoing, right? 2 are NA, 1 is turbo. And I'm trying to get all these aftermarket parts for them, and I'm trying to get things made for them. So half my bikes are away. Wouldn't you kind of agree with that, Cartel? They're kind of away, kind of.
Yes, yes. Overnight parts from Japan. No, not Japan. Europe.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was the Gen 3 doesn't have a lot that's available for subframes and fairing stays, and I weighed the one that I had that I purchased OEM. So I decided to send it off and get something a better, lighter version made by what's the dude in Texas? JL Design. JL
The
Design.
JL subframe.
JL subframe fairing stay. So he has the subframe and fairing stay to modify it. So I'm working my magic on what I have, but obviously none of that stuff can happen until I get the subframe and fairing stay back. So that's that.
I feel like he's done better with his turnaround time, man, because you know, I feel like some of these guys, like the smaller guys, when it comes to you get a name, right, and then boom, you get bombarded with orders, and you're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And who knows how big his establishment is? But even like Carbomoto, like, you know, it takes some time, bro. It takes months to get some of these parts. You know, you're paying top dollar, but sometimes you got to understand that the process is different for everybody.
Oh man, hey, Wild Boy is stupid. But yeah, man, you're supposed to start one and finish one, Flacco. But the craziest thing is a lot of these projects were started in like 2017, 18. And because I don't want to feel like I'm going with some form of a trend, I'm really big on copying. I don't look at IG and look at a bike and be like, I want my bike to be that way. I don't do that. So I rather get some stuff made. And if it takes long, then I'll just wait until I catch up and I'll just race what I have, which ain't that fast, but I don't care. I'll race it. As soon as I see Cartel, I'm lining up next to him.
That's Georgia. That's Georgia. You got
Yeah, as soon as I
yo.
see you, I'm whatever I
Just
have,
pull
and
up on me.
I'm gonna pull
Pull
up
up
on you.
on me.
Like
I'm
I
gonna be
don't
waiting
care
for you.
if I see Matt, if I see Will, if I see I don't care. Like I'll pull up on you and we can run it.
Yo, the first time I see Matt, I'm not even giving him a head nod. He's gonna look, his tires flat, and I'm gonna just go, and then I'm gonna just post a video like, yo,
And
I
you
laid
saw
him
what
out
I'm,
so bad he didn't even know what came to him. He was just parked.
yo. You see Ahmad, he said oversell and underdeliver. That's the fabric. Hey, bro, like but they didn't do
Yeah,
that though. I just
yeah,
didn't
man.
think that it would take this long. Even so, I'll tell you guys, M2 is coming out with a new shock. And I'll hopefully be one of the first ones to get this. It's said to be one of the lighter versions. This is his version of a lightweight like the Penske is. Now, granted, I'm still waiting on it, but everybody does Penske, so I'm doing M2. That's what's on my BMW. So I'm just kind of sticking with the same thing.
For a
Turbo
BMW.
bike has a Penske. Yeah. I got a M2 on the stroker bike. So I just went with M2 again. He showed me some of his behind the scenes new shock that's coming out. So built-in reservoir, remote reservoir, all of this stuff. So, and it's supposed to be lighter than the Penske. lightweight shock. So I figured, I mean, his customer, it's just waiting for this stuff, which you got to have some extreme patience. But yeah, so it's funny, I weighed the M2 versus my Busa Penske versus the stock OEM BMW shock, and it was definitely a pound or two lighter. But then when you add in the reservoir, well, you know what I mean? That's different.
Then you gain some back.
Then I gained a little bit back, you know. But I mean, you get all of this adjustability. Some people say that you don't need the triple adjustability, all this other stuff. Like, I think it really depends, because if you're running on unprepped surfaces, or uh, concrete versus asphalt versus a prep surface at the track, the more adjustability you have, the better to dial your stuff in. You know?
Yeah, according to what you're racing on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will, do you have a shock on your bike, bro, or are you the shock? Do you have a shock, or are you the shock?
Yeah, I'm sure Will has a shock on his bike. His bike is too nice not to have a shock.
I
I think
agree,
that,
but I didn't look at that. I never I didn't look at Will's bike like that. Like, you got a Penske, okay. Hey man, you might be the shock.
yeah, like, he's too heavy. Not because, like, what is it? The average OEM shock is built for like world superbike type guys, right? So what is that? 180 and below, or something like that, I think, is the average weight. So, and even like, look at the shocks, bro. Like, shock costs what? I think on the low end, well, at least $1,000, all the way up to the air shock. That's what,
Yeah.
1,500, 1,800. What was that shock that came out that was like $2,000 or more?
Do you feel like there was a price difference from 5 years ago to now with shocks?
Honestly, like, I feel like that's kind of sort of remained somewhat constant. The shocks have always been within, it seems like, a couple of dollars of each other. You know what I mean? And I think the same shock that was years ago, unless it's new technology, like the air shock, that's kind of new. That was within the last 3 to 5 years. You know what I mean? But I think that the vast majority of some of the hard parts, if materials have it, so like Evil swing arms, right? Evil, for the most part, has kind of remained constant for the most part.
See, the Penske, man, for $1,000 to save 2.5, I think that's a pretty good deal, right? When you look at things, that's another thing, right? Like, when you look at the cost, right, what we spend to save 2, 3, 4 pounds, bro, it's fucking. I think that's the shit that makes me like that fucking kills me, bro. Is the amount of money that we have to spend to save weight.
Bro, remember, so just recently, guys, I went to, you can check it on my YouTube channel, but I just wanted to see if I could chop up my Ram Air to get it as light as a carbon fiber version of Ram Air. And it was within 4.5 ounces of what the carbon fibers were. The problem is, though, those carbon fibers, so that was, I think I equaled it out to like $100 per ounce, which that's $100 an ounce.
Yeah,
bro. Like, what do I look like? Like, you know how expensive that is? $100 an ounce, man.
Really? What did that run you, Adam, to do that?
See, now a
Now,
typical
see,
revalve.
Adam, listen, all the BMW guys, which there's probably just me and you in here, for this is the shit.
But no, I
Adam,
mean,
he's the guy, man. He's the guy in here.
yeah, but and I appreciate that. I mean, that's a revalve. You can send that to Adams Perform. You can send that to anybody who does M2. Hell, my drag bike has a revalve shock on it. I mean, but that's a cheaper version, right?
See, now, so 900. So
yeah,
you're saving a couple of hundred, right? Like,
yeah.
no,
No,
it's kind of like,
But think about it though. Think about how cool this is though, because Adam, that's his name, right? Terrorist is Adam. He kind of sham though, because think about if you get your stock shock, it looks stock but performs like his aftermarket. You think some of these guys ain't out here doing that?
The trickery at him, right? The
You know what I
trickery.
mean? Like that's like the cheater
My
stretch,
stock is
man.
stock.
Yeah, that's the cheater stretch. When my drag bike pull up, they're like, "Oh my god, you got a stock shock on there." Okay, yeah, you think it's stock? It's not stock. You know what I mean? Like that's what you do.
Little fly dog, you Adam. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. I feel like Adam's got a whole shop over there where he lives, and he's just building. He just does shit to do shit. Like he
Bro,
probably
but
has a
that's
whole bunch of one-off
but you
BMW
know
parts.
what? Everybody like, I knew of I didn't know his name was Adam, but I was watching Terrorists a minute ago. You know what I mean? Because he was one of the guys that outside of what was
Yeah.
that? The dude that kind of remained the dude from Florida that beat the hell out of 650 Eves H2 or something back in the day.
I
It
don't
started
know.
with a T. I think it started with a T.
Was it a BMW?
He had a BMW, and this is I think one of the things that put roll racing or put something to roll racing when he beat 650 Eves. What the hell was this dude's name? I can't remember his name, but basically what happened is 650 pulls up on dude, they meet, whatever, they're supposed to race. Dude had an S1000 lowered strap, whatever, probably had some weight reduction to it. And then 650 automatically assumed that he was going to beat him because he had
Laid
an
down.
H2. And he fucked Eve up. Like he fucked him up bad. Like I feel like Eve still gets nightmares over that shit, bro. Like
wakes up at night like
he fucked that man up, dog. Like he did. Bless
no.
Eve's heart, but like he did. And
A
it was
red
videos after that where like Eve would continuously like talk about it. What the hell was that dude's name, bro? Like it started with a T, I think. Anyways, so that happened, and then
King
it ain't
Kong versus
Valentine's
the
Red
red
S1K. It's
BMW.
not King Kong. It was a guy. Anyways, I can't remember his name right now. It escaped me, but
Reap, hold it down, bro. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, bro.
oh, hold on. We about to add in Slow Jixer.
Yeah. Yo, Chris, jump on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We done tossed for a whole hour over here and shit. Fucking bring him on. I'll be right back, bro.
Yo.
Hey, yo, Chris, what the fuck you got on your head, my guy? What
The
is that?
same Trojan you got on your head.
Hey, yo, listen.
Adidas, baby.
Yo, Chris, you better come back
That's
real
that
skinny from the army with all the bullshit you talking, bro. I'm just saying.
soon, very soon.
Flacco's
I'm trying to get my dash set up right now. Hold up.
hey, I guess Chris got something to say. Oh, he said the Condom Brothers. That's funny. Funny. But
Hey, straight up. Nobody. Hey.
turn your mic down a little bit, just a little bit. And
All right, 1 second.
as far as like I forgot his name, but yeah, so he beat up on 650 Eve, and back then there wasn't really a name. You know what? Let me see what Terrorist is doing. Let's see something here.
Is that better?
Yeah.
About to show other people's dragging numbers. Apparently, people can't take a joke.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know what? Just for the hell of it, I sent Terrorist a link as well. So if he wants to hop on and just like, so anyways, I guess because now that we have a third person on here, I'm assuming that a lot of what we're talking about, this is about to like evolve and change. You know what I mean? So if Terrorist is not busy, I sent him a link and then he can jump on as well. And like, we could just, whatever the chat wants to talk about. We just established basically though that parts are expensive, still gonna pay for it, but at some point we're gonna have to figure it out. Like,
So you remember, so I put a comment in the chat earlier about my bike being 30 to 50,000, right?
mhm.
It's because the reason why it's gonna be 30 to 50,000 is because I'm doing all the labor for it.
So
You
you're
know?
not, so there's no labor cost in there.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll be back.
So
I'm about to make a drink real quick, y'all. So
Go
I'll be
go
back.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I got some. Hey, Cartel, I sent something to terrorists as well. So if he ain't
Okay.
bored or whatever, he can jump. We'll see what it is. I'll be back.
I don't know if Terrace will join. He's kind of a low key guy, but if he does, he does.
Yeah. So basically, if I had the labor costs and everything I'm doing, I would legit spend. How much would it be? It would be at least at the minimum of 20 grand on just the motor. And then on top of that, think about it. I'm putting a max on the bike. So there's another $2,000 to get it wired up, you know? So
Yeah.
all these parts I'm doing it myself just so I can save money, you know?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm 240. I'm heavyweight, baby.
Yo,
Shit,
yo, Pusha, there's a lot of heavyweights on here, bro. Oh, you already got it? Yo, you pulled that Max CCU out of your back pocket like you was ready for that shit, bro.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is this is the thing, right? So there's two people riding my bike. There's me for the heavyweights, and there's my jockey for everybody else.
Got you.
Heavyweight is 220 plus.
Matt, do you run a Max or no on your ZX10? And how about you, Will? Do you run a Max?
Mm-mm.
By your answer, probably not. But I
Well,
figured
I do have the burnt pistons though. While Flacco's fucking around.
let me see the let me see the God damn, bro. Jesus. Let me see the dome.
Hold on. Here's my other one.
Stocky to you. Wow, huh?
I think that's nope. Right there is the fucked up side.
So let me ask you and Will Heat this, Matt. Right? Do you guys feel like Max ECUs? When is a Max ECU needed at that point? Adam, what up, my boy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you
So
doing,
a max ECU is good for weight reduction, but a max ECU for the bike that I'm doing is needed because I'm doing a 4x6 motor in it.
What do you think about that, Adam?
What's that? Sorry.
Do you feel like a Max ECU is needed when you do a 4x6 or better?
No, not necessarily, but it can help.
So the reason why I say it's needed, right? And all the Florida people are in here, so they're gonna hate what I'm about to say.
Not really.
They're gonna absolutely hate it, but it's the truth. The only reason why Murder Ralph lost in Florida is because he doesn't have a max ECU. That's the only reason why he lost.
Why do you say that?
Because the people that they raced, Brett and Chase, have a max ECU, and they had their tuner on spot.
Well, yeah, it has the capabilities of, with the laser and whatnot for the wheel lift and all that stuff. Yeah, that's an advantage. It's something you can't do on a stock. You're not going to be able to replicate that, but
you can only control so much with the stock ECU.
Oh, without a doubt.
You can control a lot. Obviously, you can control a whole lot more with a max. That's the reason why, is because you can, as Will just said, you can dial in the bike way better on a standalone ECU. And it necessarily doesn't even have to be a max. You could put a fuel tech in it. What's the other ones? A Holly. You can put a Holly system on it.
So all right, so let me ask you this, Adam, right? And let me ask the chat, right? If you guys were racing for big dollar amounts, would you guys feel more confident racing on a standalone versus a stock ECU or no?
It depends on the
Yes.
motor.
Mm.
And well, there's a lot of factors to it, so it's a loaded question.
It is kind of a loaded question. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Motec as well. Motec has a good standalone as well.
Motec, Haltech. I mean, they're all good.
Yeah. It's just whatever your builder is comfortable with.
And your tuner's capabilities.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I know for me, I just heard the question, so I know I'm getting back late, but I would feel way better with a standalone.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Slow Booster said, though, it depends on the motor.
You could have all, you know what? And Will, he had you could have all the shit in the world, bro, all the bells and whistles. But if you're a shitty rider, it don't matter what you have.
Your bike could be performing good that day.
Who's
Next
my
day,
build cross? No.
you could
I don't
skip a
know.
gear.
I don't know if Flacco heard me when I just said it, but I said I'm building my own bike.
Well, let's address that then, right? If you're a shitty rider, what does that even mean? Because
Right.
you know what
Right.
what does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you what it fucking means, right? So,
Uh-huh.
for example, for myself, when I first got on my BMW, for the longest time, I was afraid to make a hit full throttle in first gear. All right. So, first of all, I wasn't confident in myself, right? Because I was still getting to know the bike. And I was afraid of whether or not I was going to be okay with the bike even picking up on me. So there was multiple factors, and that was because of my lack of skill. And I'm still building a skill set for it. So yes, things like that make for a shitty rider. And if you're on a built bike, right, with all the bells and whistles, and you are not, so let's say all these young guys that may have the pocket and deep pockets to build these bikes right off the rip without having a skill set.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna shit bricks, under
Let
pressure
me-
on a bike like that.
Let me add to that. You know what? There's two things. Oh, hold on. There we go. There's two things that can. What's the word? That if you buy, you won't have to worry about rider mod. There's two things: a standalone ECU and a air shifter. Because then you can do an auto shifter, and you don't have to worry about shifting at all.
Yeah, but if your bike is not set up for it, bro,
That's on. Yeah.
You know what I'm
If you
saying?
buy those, if you buy those two things and you get it set up properly, you don't have to worry about being a shitty rider.
I don't know. Like
You can still have errors.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can still have errors, but
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you could have two exact same bikes, two comparable riders.
right. Look at what Will
could
just
fuck up.
said.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily need a standalone to essentially what I've been saying this whole time, detune your first gears or so.
Right.
Playing around with the TPS, like you don't need that. But what Cartel said means to me is like, it's all of the guys that cannot run. Well, Will, or maybe you, Adam, or I don't know about you, Slow Boost. I've never seen you ride, but the vast majority, as soon as that fucking front wheel gets a little light or that tank is in your chest, everybody gets scared. Oh my God. And they chop throttle. You know what I mean? Race is over by it, unless you just got a lot of power. So like if you add an air shifter, that doesn't negate the fact that your bike makes a bunch of power. It's still going to come up if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
If your chassis is not set up. So for me, it's just one of those things like, why are you building these massive bikes, but you don't outside of something massive if you don't have the skill set?
Yeah, so for myself, just being on, like I was just being honest, bro. Like, it's been a process. In Miami was probably the first time that I really got on that bike fully and was comfortable doing so. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? What were you racing? You was racing half mile or
half mile? Well, first of all, I made the sad mistake of a 43 sprocket, so I wasn't even making a half mile the first 2 races that I had. You know, it was great from fucking first to fourth, but then what the fuck was it doing for me? Because I clicked fifth gear and I was done for.
Well,
You know,
but so
I had
that
nothing left. So then I had to swap. I had a 41, but 42 would have been great for me, but I didn't have that. I only had a 43 and a 41.
it's
You know,
it's
so
funny, man. Like it's crazy. Like, and this is no hit against anybody from that's racing in y'all are all like way faster than me. Hell, half my race shit don't even work. All of it doesn't work. But what I'm saying is, 1739 gearing, right? So that sounds tall as hell to me. And maybe Adam, I've seen some of your stuff where you racing like, where's the characteristics of the race? You know what I mean? Where the chassis gets unloaded a little bit, the bike is doing a lot of stuff. There's some aggressiveness. You got to throttle manipulate, throttle control, all of this stuff. Like, where is that? You had to do that, Cartel. But in a 9/10 race or one of these races where you're running, I don't know, 1720, bro, you literally have to just get on the bike and do this. Like there's like what is that? I'm not saying anything. I come from a place where bikes are all over the place and you gotta be able to ride, so
there is a lot of different levels to this, Will Heat, for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Are you setting up your bike, Adam, for half or 9/10?
I like what Will said. I love
what,
that.
What was that first one you said?
Are you setting the bike up for half, 9/10?
No.
Both?
No, 9/10.
He said, no.
He didn't even let me finish.
He's bro, I swear I'll never, unless I'm doing like a shift sector or something like that, like, or a mile. Yeah. Nah, bro. Like, and I need my bike to try to buck me off. I mean,
here's the thing. What I like about 9/10, yes, you can get some of the same mile per hour or high mile per hour in half, to 9/10 or whatever, if you have the motor, whatever.
Yeah.
For me, I like 9/10 not only for the mile per hour aspect and whatnot. It's just I like a longer race. I don't want to get off the fucking bike. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you don't like, I don't understand. So you don't want to get off the bike. What does that mean?
I want to stay on. If someone said let's race for fucking 3 miles and I stick a 17 fucking 30 fucking 5 or something like that, let's do it, because I want a long race. Okay. I want to be on the bike as long as possible.
You appreciate that kind of like race, that long fucking like full throttle, 200 plus, all day long.
Yes.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
Okay.
I feel like that's definitely a
the race to
end in the Miami world.
I don't want the race to end.
Okay. Now. Yeah, I guess he's trying to blow it up for 3 miles, and you're trying to salt that. You going to the flats, right?
Hypothetically speaking, that's
yo,
where I'm at.
Yeah, you're a different animal there, Adam. Like you.
Yeah, man. I just, because then so me and you race, Adam. I think at that point, outside of tuning, if I'm racing you 9/10, I feel like not only whoever has the best setup bike or the most horsepower, the most money into their bike, I feel like that's just the easiest way to win a 9/10 race. Outside of aerodynamics and all of this stuff, if we're identical,
good portion of it.
You know what I mean? Like it's easier for you to just come back around me, especially if you got a boosted bike. They back half, so
of course.
You see what I mean? But if you do something that's 1/8 mile to 1/4 mile to, you know what I mean, or half mile, at least you still get a little bit of that long race, but there's a lot of dynamics in that because you can have less of a bike and still beat your competitor if you can outride them, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is more of a rider's race and not the bike's race.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that's what I like.
And you down in Florida as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to his Area 51 when I'm down there in a couple of weeks. I'm going to the Area 51 and I'm gonna be a kid in a candy store. Hey, Adam, what's this? Hey, what's this?
I wish you would have caught me beforehand, because like I told you, I throw a whole lot away.
Terrorist, what you currently riding right now? You still got the Beamer or?
No, I parted out the Beamer. Now I have.
Oh,
Fixer.
oh man, boy. Oh boy, I tell you, man. Fucking Jixers, bro. Like, hey, go pan back though, because I like the way that look. Pan back. Hey, Cartel. You know what, man?
Yo, don't fucking say it. Don't fucking say
Hey,
it. Don't fucking
hey, go
say
back. Let me see. What he got? Let me see what kind of wheels he got there. What is that? What is that? Is that
Oh,
boost?
there we go.
Oh, he got the boost on there. Okay.
Yo,
Okay.
if
Okay.
you ain't got carbon wheels, I don't want to even talk to you, son. Like, once I got my first set of carbon
So Adam, I got a question, right?
Mhm.
So I personally would not race 9/10 because that's not for me, right? But I can appreciate 9/10 just because I can appreciate any kind of racing, you know. So for 9/10, since it's a longer race, why don't people run the land speed fenders?
the fender you got.
You know what?
Yeah.
And this may be a bit before your time. A lot of people used to.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I have one. Just
What's
like
his
the one that
name?
you
What's his
posted. It's
name
sitting on my
that
shelf.
was popular for a little Madness, something Madness.
Dark Side, yeah.
Dark
Yeah,
Side Madness.
he ran that fender for a while. So did Tristan.
Yeah.
You know
a
what?
lot of guys used to.
You know what? I think that was a lot of instead of functionality is trending. Anything that's trending, bro. Like if it
Yeah.
looks cool, it looks good, people want it, even though they don't need it.
That fender's gangster, bro. I'm not gonna. I like that fender.
Believe it or not, some of my highest mile per hour runs on the BMW was with a stock fender.
I was looking at some old videos, and I don't know if I was talking to Cartel about this or Poindexter, I'm not sure. But one of the things that I noticed, if you go back to like TRC events, like their channel on YouTube, like all of these races, they have people in Florida doing 200 miles per hour plus, well without none of these damn fenders and disc and all of this nonsense.
Yep.
Land speed, like legit land speed, Ohio mile, going well over 200 without all this stuff. So like for me, I look at it as, okay, well, if these guys did 250 back then,
yep,
why do we need these damn discs on our rear wheel now?
Yep.
So
I don't understand it.
So that's it. So, like for me, I don't chase mile per hour anymore. I chase ET. So
Okay, all right.
ET's better.
Well,
so
if you ET
like
to that mile per hour, yeah.
From when I first did the head and cams on the BMW, it came out swinging, and it did really, really well. Now, from when I started doing the weight reduction on it, and quite a bit, my mile per hour really didn't go up much, but my ET was fucking phenomenal.
Well, you know, torque gets the bike moving, horsepower gets the game. At least that's what I've always been told. And I feel like, again, when I look at all of, because I mean, it's on YouTube. All you got to do is just look at something. You guys live there, so well, he lives there, and Cartel, you go there all the time. But it's wild to see that bikes like not King Kong. What was the bikes before that? There was several bikes before it that didn't have booster fenders, all of this. So you probably can remember that was doing 215, 220 without all of this gimmicky trend stuff.
Right.
Not saying that it's a trend. I've never used it. They say it works. I don't know. But in your mind, since you've been around the game for a while, do you think that they have added to? I noticed you don't have it on your bike.
I have one.
So
I
have
just
you
haven't.
used it?
I not on this bike. No, on the BMW, I used to run it.
Did you? So how much did it help when you put that stuff on?
My ET cut down quite a bit.
Did it?
Yeah.
Now, so it helps ET, but I thought it's supposed to help mile per hour overall.
It does, but my ET came down more so than my mile per hour.
And was that more the fender or was it the disc?
Disc.
Because I
So
really
what do you guys think about the double disc?
SS4 Luck just got his.
I mean,
yeah, that shit looks good. It looks cool. I don't know if it works,
It
but
does look cool.
it looks cool.
it will work, but I think you'll get most of the gain characteristics through just having the single.
Really?
Mhm.
So I don't. But okay, so if you have
Because
one side,
it's not going to equal out 50-50. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So he might see a little bit more, but nothing drastic, if anything.
Right.
well, why
Oh,
is that though?
I mean, it's no different like on a boat that you see that has a 200 motor, and then another boat has twin 200 motors.
Mm.
You don't gain much more mile per hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't gain double.
oh, here you go. This is something off topic. What we're talking about. So you remember how you were talking about price wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I priced up from HTP, right? I'm not gonna go with them, but this is what their stroker kit is, right? How much it is. So it's $6,300, but that's pistons, H beam rods, and then a 6 mil crankshaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to go with the tie rods, that boosts up the price by $2,000.
Yeah, but I mean it's titanium, so I mean,
Yeah, but you think about it, right? That's just rods, pistons, and a crank. That's not including getting your ham stuff or head stuff done. That's not including any of the machine work getting done to them. Nothing.
So that's
I
the
would have.
part.
So that's why. So we rough estimated the price for what the motor I'm building, and just in parts, it's about $50,000 or $15,000. Just in parts. So you have a shop do it, a 4x6. So you're looking at about 18 to 20 grand.
I say I head cam in a fucking bottle, bro, and see whatever that it's gonna be. What it is. Head cam in a bottle.
That okay? So that okay.
the block. I'll find out real fast what the block can hold. Fuck it, and you know what I'm saying.
Nah, I gotta do it. I gotta do it because I don't believe that price.
No, he's right around there.
Like if you were to call it KWS on Monday and ask them how much out the door a 4x6 is, with them doing it, it's probably going to be about 17 to 20 grand.
Okay, so okay, so we're gonna go along with the price, right? I got my calculator. So I want to add this stuff up because it doesn't make sense to me. So the crank, all billet cranks for the most part are about $3,200 to $3,500, right?
Yep.
Give or take.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
TI rods are no more than tops
It's
$3,500, $3,600.
Yep, it's $3,500. That's not including shipping.
The pistons are custom, so they're going to be within the 11 through tops 1,500 range.
Yep.
So we'll choose in the middle at about 1,300.
Yep.
Head work can probably run
head
average
cam.
$1,000 to $2,000 for head work, depending, but really more in the 1,000 range. So
And
let's
then
say
you have
2,000 tops.
And then you have to get custom cams for
Regrinds or billets. But the cams are not going to be. I mean, it's a Suzuki, so it's not going to be more than 1,500.
And then on top of that, you got to think of the valves. Because if I'm building the motor, I'm building the whole thing.
Titanium valves. Me and Cartel just looked this up.
Yeah.
2468, 2468. No more than what? What was it? 500 to 1,000, right? Give or take. Because we looked them up for a Gixxer, right?
On the Gixxer, yes.
We looked them up for the Gixxer. They were Vance and Hines.
And that's
500 per intake and exhaust. So let's say 1,000. No,
okay.
Yeah, let's say 1,000.
And then You think about it. Hold on before you say the number. What's one other thing inside of the whole entire, we'll say motor, quote unquote, that you have to upgrade in order to do a stroker? That's the
Cases?
transmission. You
Well,
have
no,
to
I was thinking a billet output shaft of some sort or something like
That
that
too.
within the trans. So let's say,
So you're looking at $2,000 for the transmission overall.
yeah,
Bro, and
well,
then at that point, right? Then you could what clutch you going with, right? Then you gotta deal with all
Yep.
that.
and then you're
too,
looking
right?
at
Then you could
And then
play
it-
this shit.
And then with the clutch, you can't with the 17 pluses. Adam, you can tell me if I'm right or not because I haven't looked recently, but they don't make a they don't
bro, like,
they don't make a back or what not backdated. Well, you have to do a backdated clutch in order to have a clutch mod.
okay, so okay.
As far as the Gixxer,
Yeah,
I'm too new to this platform to tell you anything
Okay.
about it, really.
So I'm at 14.8 right now, but I got a couple of questions. One,
and then you got the retainers too, retainers, ceramic trans bearing.
but none of that
You add all
amounts
that up.
to $20,000.
As I said, it depends on who the builder is and their experience. As I was saying, it's between 17 to about 20 grand, give or take. It depends on the builder.
Well,
Bro,
I know two
I can-
people recently, and one was about 17 and one was about 25.
boy,
And then
hey,
and
somebody
then
holding a gun.
then
Somebody's
shelf
getting
life, right?
raped out this boy.
You know,
Well, it's not even
I
that.
won't
It's
say names, but
it's
one was 17 and one was 25.
They doing
So
people like that for Jigsaw
I don't-
1000?
bro. I don't know who he's talking about, but the $25,000 one is probably either a 4x8 or 4x10.
That's wild, bro.
Bro,
The-
I mean, okay,
the-
so the crank,
The cranks are all the same price.
the cranks
They
is the
don't change.
same. Maybe you're going what shorten the rods 2 or 3 mil, but still, like what? I still don't get
There's
how
not really a price difference in that.
having the most beastly motor. And trust me, Cartel, I got 3 of them,
Yeah.
and they weren't no damn 20K. And I guarantee you, they're
Oh,
bigger than these Jigsaw motors.
That's
So
another thing.
I don't
right?
understand how.
That's another thing though is the reason. So I'm a give a little bit of just a little bit of background,
You
right?
getting your motor done
I'm
by a
about to-
crackhead or something. Nah, bro. Somebody's
I'm
getting
about-
your ass, dog. Like you bending over for somebody. Ain't no fucking way.
Oh,
You're not
Matt-
telling
Matt
me that
said it
shit,
too.
bro.
Matt said
Nah,
it too.
ain't
You
no
also
way.
got to think about all the gaskets as well.
Bruh, a full gasket kit is like $100, bruh. Like what you saying?
You also ain't gonna run a stock. You ain't gonna run a stock head gasket.
Bro, my BMW gasket was what $250 or something like that. Like I'm tracking gasket costs. But I mean
Yeah.
that's because you know what I mean. I'm tracking that, but it still doesn't amount to $20,000. Like
The full gasket kit for the BMW
shit
is like
Yeah.
$600
As I said,
for
that's
complete
that's why
motor.
I said 15.
Well, no, that's
15
OEM. You got to commit
for me to
yourself,
do.
bro. Like that's OEM, bro. Like that's
Right.
That's
that's
why
ridiculous.
I said that I'm doing it myself is because I don't want to pay extra for somebody else to do something that anybody. If you can, man.
You're
So
running
that
a
means-
really
I'm
big
just
risk,
saying it,
Chris.
right?
You're running a big
Anybody
risk doing
can
it that
build
way.
a motor.
You're running a
Anybody
really
can
big
build a
risk.
motor.
The ceramic muffler bearing.
I don't know if I agree with that one, bro, because there's a lot of variables, and if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, bro,
Right.
But
you take a look at it,
lot of
right? If you have any kind of mechanical skill at all, and as a kid you were able to take something apart and put it back together, it's the same shit. You have to have the right tools. That's it. If you have the right tools,
I wouldn't run that risk.
Research.
No, I can tell you, Chris. Oh, okay, so me
Listen,
and Cartel talk
I
every
tip
day,
my
all
hat
day.
off to you for doing that.
No, bro. Like, unless you, because no, that's. I mean, how many motors have you built yourself,
No, your first one,
Me?
right?
or assembled?
Motorcycle, yeah. Yeah, motorcycle, yeah.
Kaboom.
Just this one.
Yeah,
But
You're
here's the thing,
fucking.
though. I have. Hey, here's the thing. I have two motors.
Yeah, so when one blows, you got another one.
Exactly.
Sounds like an Adam thing to do.
Hey, I've only ever blown one
That's
motor.
the reason why. That's the reason why I got a second motor. Is because I know the first motor is gonna blow.
hey, I think you would be better off at a minimum, because I thought about this too. Like, get the motor built, disassemble it so you can see where all your clearances and stuff is at, and then re-put it back together. And at least you'll kind of know, like, that would make more sense. But you just going willy-nilly off of a 4x12 or whatever the hell you building, bro? Are you crazy? Builders get paid money for this for a reason, because they're good at it. And shit still blows
Right.
up.
Well,
Nah,
all
you
these
just-
motors have shelf lives, right? Like at the end of the day, bro, right? So, when you
I
start
mean, it's
building,
not even not a stroker.
A lot of these builders have little tips and tricks and inside a motor that you won't even know about.
Bro, Ahmad, hey,
and they're
what you
not gonna
talking
fucking
about?
tell you, bro. And they're not gonna fucking tell you either. So once
Ahmad,
again,
Right.
bro, like I
Yeah.
tip my hat off to you for taking that route, bro. But it's a real costly and like it's a bold
Yeah.
choice. You know what I'm saying? It's a bold choice.
And that's and I'm a add on to what Flacco said, right? So again, I have two motors. There's a reason why I have two motors. Yes, one is for when the other one blows up, but think about it. If the other motor is just sitting there not doing shit, I could take that one, as he said, I could take it apart and put it back together.
Okay. So
And you're also tuning yourself, correct?
Kind of. So I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna learn how to tune before. I'm gonna learn how to tune on the motor before I build it, just so I know what I'm doing. Because if that motor blows, then I can just build it. So I'm not
man,
gonna go out the gate and tune a built motor.
I don't know. I can tell you, I put several motors back together, and I'm not a builder. I assembled them shits, and they were small motors, dirt bike, Grom, that sort of thing, right? Bro, you just don't do it, man. Just let somebody do it, and then take it apart, and then
You think
because
about
like,
it, right? I've done the research on how much money I'm going to be spending on labor for everything I'm doing,
mm-hmm.
and it's about 5 to 10 grand. If I can save 5 to 10 grand and put that money into something else, then I'm going to do it.
Well, okay.
You're a bold young man, Chris. You're a bold young man.
5 to 10 grand where though? That's what I'm not understanding his
Everywhere.
5 to 10 grand. Everywhere.
I think Adam is losing hair just listening to you, bro.
Adam, this shit's crazy, bro. Like 5,000 for what?
The motor. No.
Okay.
Listen, the motor, what's it called? The wiring of my ECU setup, right?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Tuning it and everything else.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good luck.
Reaper,
good luck.
you have standalones. You know how much labor costs for wiring up a standalone.
Yeah, but
here's the thing though. My jockey is the one that wired up my max on my Busa, right? And this is the thing. He knows how to build motors. He knows how to tune motors. He knows how to wire them up. And he's gonna be right there alongside me to make sure I'm doing everything right.
Yeah. Hey, man. At the end
Because
of the day, bro,
here's the thing. I'm not gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna be the only one touching the stuff, but I'm gonna have somebody there that's experienced in doing it there when I do this stuff.
I would like the chat.
It's not
said,
George
man,
Cross.
Man,
Flacco, it's not George Cross.
Bro,
It's nobody you think.
I ain't got all time for all that bullshit. Just fucking send the motor out, get it fucking done, and slap it in the bike, and that's it. It's fucking done.
yeah. Like
It's fucking done.
if you want to learn how to build motors, bro, I think you should just that extra stock one you got, just mess around with the stock one, man, and do that. But like, I don't know.
Nah, hey,
Yeah,
listen,
I mean
bro.
that's as I said, like I'm gonna mess around with the stock motor, you know what I'm saying? And once the motor blows up when I'm learning how to tune it, then I'm gonna send it out and do the motor, have them build not build it, get the parts and everything for the motor.
I didn't add in the
So if you blow it up and
$2,000,
something catastrophic fucking happens, now it's going to cost you a lot more.
Yeah. Oh well, for boring the block too, because you getting your block was stock bore right now. So yeah, that's another.
But
that's
I
still
did the
almost
same
$1.5
thing with
million.
my Turbo 10.
You have a Turbo 10?
I used to, yeah.
Really?
Oh, listen. So me and Adam have a very fond love for the Widowmaker ZX10s, bro.
Mm.
And when it's all said and done, my brown ass is definitely gonna have another ZX10 in some way, shape, or form, because
Man.
that is the
No,
bike.
don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Stay with the BMW. Like we
Nah,
getting
nah,
our
nah,
life
nah.
together, bro. We getting our life together with the BMW. I'm telling you.
And anything turbo,
are.
anything turbo that you're doing is a fucking rabbit hole.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah. Any build, I think, is like could be a rabbit hole. You know, it's just
Shit, that's why I'm selling my Busa.
you selling it now. The turbo
Yeah.
one, right? You got a turbo bike, right?
Yep. So the real reason why I'm selling it is because the way I would want the Busa, it would cost more than $100,000.
Yo, bro.
What's
the
going
fuck
on with
are
your
you doing,
calculator,
man?
bro? Like, what's going on, bro? Where you doing your math at?
It's gonna if I were to keep it, it would be a grudge drag bike.
Well, that's a lot of fucking
turbo
money.
grudge turbo drag bike. You think about it. I don't know if you're cool with the owner of the bike that Chris Moore jockeys, Melania, but that bike right there is $300-something thousand.
No, the fuck it ain't.
No, it ain't.
No,
yes,
the
it
fuck
is.
it ain't.
No, it's not.
I'm not. Well, no, not.
If they were to sell it right now, they could get $300,000 out of it,
Bro.
No.
I don't under.
No.
Chris,
Wake up, man.
Where'd you go to school at, bro? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No,
bro.
No,
bro. Like, it ain't no 300,000 anything, man. I think the average grudge bike on some expensive shit will be between 60 and 100K. Right. And we talking even up to Pro Street.
Yeah.
Pro Street probably about 100K, maybe. But
and let's be honest, right? Because a bike like Melania at this point, they're probably getting half of this shit for free, bro.
Now the only way that somebody's
now
going to get 300K for that is going to be some fucking mafia fucking fanboy that's richer than sin and wants it as a fucking showpiece to say this bike went in the fucking fives.
Yeah,
in his fucking
at
museum.
that point, they're not even. They don't even spend like. Melania probably has more fucking sponsors, bro, than anything, bro. Like they're not spending that kind of fucking money.
But it's wild as hell because what Chris Moore has on that bike, any of us can have on that bike on our bikes. You know what I mean? Like it's all shit that we can go get. And I'm telling you, there's Chris is like the face, right, of this YouTube shit, you know, for his company or whatever he does. But there's some guys in the grudge game that Chris asked be afraid to race too.
Absolutely. It's not even his bike, bro. Melania's in his bike.
Race George Cross.
No.
That's a whole different animal, bro.
That's a whole no.
Yeah.
No disrespect to George, because George do some good shit. But he ain't Melania fast. He ain't he ain't grudge fast.
Yeah.
No.
Hell
you know what I mean? And there's no disrespect to George, like he does some shit, but like nah, bro.
He's not at that level.
Hell no.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Yeah, that all that shit right there is above my fucking pay grade. I don't want to hear about none of that fucking shit right there.
But yeah,
my man said $300,000, man. That's crazy.
The boost is for sale. I'll probably sell it for like $3-4 grand.
Oh, Wheeler for Racing. Yeah. Ahmad, like, yeah. Wheeler for Racing.
Adam,
was
you
making
didn't have
sense.
you didn't have your booster for too long. You just weren't a fan of it.
Adam had a booster? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Why?
It's a
you a
fucking
short
couch,
guy?
man. I like the nimbleness of a 1000 frame.
How much you weigh, Adam?
Right now, 184.
Oh, well. Oh, well. He's like Cartel, man. These motherfuckers are fast for no reason. Okay, well, never mind then. I can see why you got rid of it.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I love boosters, but
I mean, it's cool to look at, but it just wasn't me. It just didn't feel right.
Well, guys, I would love to stay in chat. I just got a call. My homeboy's home, so I'm gonna go work on my gym.
All right, Chris. Take
you
it
need to
easy,
work
bro.
on your fucking calculator.
Yeah, that too.
Hey, straight up, I don't know if you guys have ever done any research into Virginia, but I'm from Portsmouth, Virginia, the ghetto. We don't have good education systems out there.
All right, bro.
yo, have a good night, bro.
This dude, man.
Yo.
This man's fucking calculator is super broke. But
hey, man, listen, we all, we're all three of us in here are on the older side of things, man, so we learn differently, and hey, he's got, he's where he's at with it, bro. He's gonna learn how he's gonna learn. Period.
I'm about to go work on my booster right now, man. He motivated me.
Yeah, he's gonna learn how he learns, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Hey, Adam, man, I appreciate you joining in, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to see you.
No problem.
When I get over there, you know what I'm saying? I'll come through with my clippers and I'll just shave your head because you don't need the rest of that hair, bro.
Hey, look, we're in a recession.
It ain't there.
Matt, you right, bro. Like with his calculator, yeah, it's $2,000. That's crazy.
Listen, guys. I appreciate everybody that came on chat. I appreciate y'all, man. Like, subscribe. Adam, I will see you very soon. We'll talk, bro. Reap, another one. Thank you very much, brother, for being here.
Man. Yeah, I know we kind of went off topic a little bit, but
it was good.
Fun.
It was good,
man.
It was good either way, bro.
Yeah.
It was good either way, man. You know what I'm
saying?
Chat,
like the stream if you can, because yeah.
Thank you, Adam. We'll talk soon, brother.
You got it. See you guys.
All right. Later, brother. Boy, I tell you what.